About a month ago, while on vacation with some friends, I, 27 female, ended up running into an ex, 27 male, from college. It was a complete coincidence, not planned at all. I had honestly forgotten about him up until that point. We ended up chatting and he joined us as we went to a couple of bars. We were both fairly drunk and we ended up back at his apartment that night. Of course, it was exactly what it sounds like, and we ended up hooking up and I spent the night. My friends saw us leave in the same Uber, and when I didn't come back to the hotel, they pieced it together and figured out what I had done. They also all know I'm in a relationship and all of them are at least acquaintances with my boyfriend. I immediately regretted what I had done as soon as I sobered up the next morning. I left his apartment and blocked him on everything I could think of. When I got back to the hotel, I begged my friends not to tell my boyfriend what had happened. They all said they would keep it a secret, but one of them ended up texting him a couple of weeks after we got back from the trip and telling him everything. Apparently, she also had photos of me and the ex together, including one of me kissing him on the beach. He blew up at me, understandably, and told me I had a week to move out and get all of my things from his apartment, and then he never wanted to see me ever again. I've been absolutely distraught ever since he found out. I went to live with my mom since I couldn't handle being around him. I had never seen him that angry before, since usually he's a very calm and soft-spoken person. We haven't spoken to each other in person since he found out. I've reached out to him over text multiple times and begged him to consider working on our relationship rather than just giving up. He ignored my messages at first, but he has been responding once in a while for the past couple days. He told me that he didn't think he could get over what I had done, especially since I kept it from him for almost 2 weeks. He said that he doesn't think he can trust me anymore, since I lied so easily and acted like nothing happened on the trip. I've been apologizing over and over to him, and I have accepted all responsibility and told him so. I understand this is all my fault, but he won't listen to my apologies at all. I've spent the last week in my mom's guest room alone, crying and desperately trying to get him to talk to me. He refuses to pick up the phone or meet in person. Even worse, all of my friends, including ones who weren't on the trip, are taking my boyfriend's side and refusing to talk to me. It was completely wrong of me to cheat, but it feels so unfair to have my entire life fall apart over one night. Apparently, nearly everyone I know has heard all of the details from the group of friends who saw it happen. I'm completely alone, and I don't know how to fix it. What do I do? Is there any way to get my friends to speak to me again? Is my relationship completely over? I'm so heartbroken. Update. It's been a week since my last post and things have only gotten worse. Several of my friends have blocked my number now, and most of the ones who haven't are still ignoring my messages. My boyfriend has also blocked my number, although I can still see his social media accounts. He seems to be doing well without me and has posted a couple of Snapchat stories of himself out at the bar with his friends. I don't know for sure if we're officially broken up, but I have a feeling we are. I really don't know what I can do to fix any of this. I feel so alone and completely abandoned. In one night, I lost multiple best friends and the best man I've ever been with. In all honesty, I am very mad at the friend who told him in the first place. It wasn't her place to do so, and she ruined my entire life telling him. I feel like I can't trust anyone anymore. I'm not sure what to do now. Start rebuilding my entire social circle from nothing? I don't think any of my old friends ever want anything to do with me ever again. I'm so lost and so lonely. If anyone has any advice at all, let me know. Now for some comments. First of all, I'm really sorry to hear that you're going through this. It sounds incredibly tough. I think the most important thing right now is to focus on yourself and your own healing. Your boyfriend and friends are understandably hurt, and it's going to take them time to process everything. Sometimes, people need space to figure out their own feelings. I know it's hard, but try to give them that space while you work on understanding why this happened and how you can grow from it. Counseling or therapy might be helpful during this time to help you navigate your emotions and learn from this experience. Hang in there, and remember that time can heal a lot of wounds. I get that you're feeling betrayed by the friend who told your boyfriend, but from another perspective, she probably felt like he had a right to know. It's easy to blame her, but the reality is that the responsibility lies with your actions. Trust is incredibly fragile, and rebuilding it takes time and effort. Right now, it might be best to accept that your current social circle needs time to cool off. Focus on self-improvement and consider reaching out to new people or reconnecting with acquaintances who aren't involved in the situation. Over time, some of your old friends may come around, but it will likely depend on how they see you handling this period of your life. Story 2. My wife, 46 female, revealed to me, 41 male, less than 4 weeks ago, that she is gay and wants a divorce after nearly 23 years together. She told me the day before a planned 10-day business trip. We have 2 daughters, 13 and 15, together who were going on a school trip for 6 days shortly after she left on her business trip. She didn't want anyone to know until after she returned from her trip, and our children and her parents were told. I'd been with her since I was 18, and she was my first real love. I have been completely heartbroken. She told me that I was her best friend and that she wanted to continue being friends, and when I started questioning just how long she knew, she told me that out of 3.5 billion men, I was the only one that ever could have been with her when we got together. So for the next 11 days, I had a complete meltdown, mostly by myself, but trying to keep up a face for my children on the days they were there, until she returned from her business trip. During her trip, she claimed she was extremely busy and had basically no time to talk. But I did something I had never done before, and looked at her location some nights and saw that she was in gay bars and nightclubs. Consequently, we only talked a handful of times for short periods of time, while she was away on her business trip. The night she came home, she had a required meeting to attend, so I assumed she would want to wait until the following day to tell our kids. No, she wanted to do it immediately after getting off the plane. So we sat at our dining room table and she did most of the talking, told our children that she and I were breaking up and that it was because she is gay. She told them that she still loved me and that we were best friends still and always would be. We all cried, and with a look at the clock, she announced that she had to go prepare for her meeting. My daughters and I sat at the table for a few minutes after she left as they tried to piece together what just happened. Like me, they felt conflicted about it. They said they were glad she acknowledged that she was gay, but that they were upset that everything was changing. The weeks after that have really only gotten worse. She's told me that I need to leave, but refuses to communicate about when and what she wants. She frequently ignores my texts and calls to an extent that she never did before. One Friday evening, despite telling my daughters and I that she was just going out, but would be coming home by 8 p.m. and wanted to play a game with all of us, she just ignored all communication after 7:45 p.m. and didn't come home until almost 7 a.m. My younger daughter was especially worried about her because she said her mom had promised she'd be home. She'd never done this before, and I had no answer of where she was or when she would be home. Now I'm out of town to clear my head, and my daughters are telling me that she has a woman in our house nearly every night that they don't know. I do know the woman that's been in our house and have known for years that she is openly gay. She doesn't stay the night, but my daughters are extremely uncomfortable with her being there at all and have told my wife they think it is wrong and they don't want her there. This past Sunday, there was a gay pride parade that my older daughter wasn't comfortable marching in with her mom and this other woman because she felt it was disrespectful to me. To which my wife told my daughter, "Your dad isn't in town, so what does it matter?" I confronted my wife about how uncomfortable the speed of this made our kids, and she got very defensive and insisted that she and this other woman are only friends, though she really likes her. I'm a pretty understanding guy, but I'm not going to be a doormat. I really don't see how this can end with us being friends if she's willing to so flagrantly disrespect me and our children. This whole situation is completely messed up and not something I ever thought we'd be dealing with, and it's frustrating to say the least. The sad thing is I still love her, but it's becoming increasingly apparent that she is unreliable and even toxic to be around. Edit. She's definitely had time to think on this, and I've said as much to her. This is new to everyone else, so our heads are spinning at how fast everything is changing. I definitely plan on moving forward with a divorce. I'm just going to focus on being the best dad I can be to my daughters and see where everything else lands. My daughters and I are in therapy now, yes. And I should clarify that my daughters independently came to me to tell me they were uncomfortable, and they used the word disrespectful on their own and told me how they were voicing with their mom their discomfort. I've been careful to not say anything bad about their mom to them and just listen, because I was a child of divorce who ended up very much in the middle. I would never want that for my kids. Being a good dad is definitely my first priority right now. Talk to an attorney and do not leave the house under any circumstance. You don't have to leave. Explore your legal options with the attorney, depending on your state laws, and fight for as much custody as you could. Try to use her affair and her bringing in her AP home to your kids as points to prove she's an unfit mom. Also, more custody would help lower your child support. Clearly, she's not making good decisions as a parent. She's neglecting the children's feelings, which is unacceptable. Look into taking the full ownership of your marital home. Don't let her control the situation. Enroll your children in therapy immediately. Your STBX behavior won't change on their own, and your children would require professional assistance to mitigate the situation. Understand the fact that you no longer have to give a shit about her happiness and well-being. It's time to focus on your own well-being. This might be a tough lesson, but it's important to learn. Now, for some comments, document her irresponsible behavior. Talk to an attorney and don't leave your home. Gay or straight, bringing home a potential partner while still married is a shitty thing to do and really bad for the kids. It's time for you to be a rock for your kids. You can process and grieve later. Go into machine mode. I suggest checking out the Men's Divorce Forum. She is beyond checked out of this relationship / her responsibilities as a mother. She has checked back in as a completely different, selfish, and childish person. Acting like a bratty teen, bringing strange sexual partners to the house, staying out at all hours. Time to treat this nightmare as it is. Stop treating her like your wife and realize she is already your ex. Document all of this behavior for the divorce and custody issues and talk to a lawyer yesterday. Sounds extremely painful and shitty, but you need to let her go and focus on yourself and your children, and preparing by talking to a lawyer is step one.